is going on, healers? Give me one sec. I don't know why it's saying it's not save changes. Come on, Facebook, work with me here. It's just not on my private personal page. That's okay. It's really not that serious. It's on the business one. That's where it matters the most. Healers in the house. What's going on? Marina Simone here, CEO and founder of Moms and Heels. And dude, I am so stoked. I've literally been blowing up your inboxes, been blowing up your text, your phones. I've been all up in your fotch, which means face in Italian. About my mentor, Ray Higdon. Have you not seen the goods that I've been dropping about him? Yeah, so here's the dealio, okay? First and foremost, you need to, oh, thank you. Congratulations on my wedding. Well, thank you. Who gets married in a living room? I do. I did. In sweatpants and jeans. That's what we do, right? Any hoopity hoopla, you definitely want to get your team members on this because, it's really weird. Like, you don't want to go to your downline and be like, here's the reason you're not rank advancing, because it's kind of like not motivational, right? It's kind of like you're being not a great leader if you do that. So let's let Ray tell everybody why they're not rank advancing and how they can rank advance. Boom. Like, isn't that like a no-brainer? So here's the deal. If you share this, I want you to put shared in the comments section because we have some new swag that we just dropped and it's pretty freaking cool. The mug is black and then you can see like I can't tell you what it says because it's new and we haven't like dropped it everywhere yet, but it's amazing. So we're going to have 5 winners to win the new coffee mug so you can sip and slay with me whenever I am in your fotch, which means space in Italian. So with that being said, we've got you got to get a pen and paper out because you're going to be taking some serious notes. If you have kids in your face, tell them go away. Say, mommy's busy. Mommy's busy right now. I need to know how I can get a nanny for you. And that means make more money, put a comma in my check. And that's what I'm going to learn from Marina's mentor, Ray Higdon. By the way, you guys, I went from 6 to 7 figures by working with him. Just going to put that out there for you people that are stuck. Pay attention. He is incredible. Ray Higdon.
Hey, what's up? What's up?
Seriously, though, I can't stress this enough. Like right now, sharing this and tagging your humans on this so you're not the one sharing with them like why they're stuck is really important. And Ray, I just want to say thank you. Like, what you've done for me, but I don't know if you've got enough love from me. And that's just, I'm so grateful for where I am. I'm grateful for the opportunities that you've given me and for helping me to strive to be bigger and better, because I never would have did that event last year if it wasn't for you. You challenged me and I'm just really grateful for that because it was such a great experience. So thank you. I appreciate you.
You are welcome. That's awesome. Yeah, it's, and there's another thing. No, I really appreciate you saying that. It's been so cool watching you just blow it up. And I know I've played at least a small part in your journey, but you've been showing up so consistently for so long, so powerful. And congrats on your wedding. Like I don't see a lot of social media stuff, I guess. So
we did it in the living room. It was in the living room. It was last minute. We had the license. We had to do it in a certain amount of time.
Okay. Well, really cool. You mentioned that, it's not cool for you to, tell your people why they're not rank advancing. And honestly, one of the things is most people have a money mindset issue. And when you, even though you want the best for them, they see you as making money off of them. So even though you're trying to help them, they're like, yeah, you're just trying to help yourself, buddy. Right. And so that's when they either buy my program or they don't. If they make $1 million, I don't make one dime more. And so it's just a little different when someone from the outside is saying, hey, here's what you need to do, because it's just a different, especially for those money mindset people. But yeah, I just want to expand on that because I think that helps some people, but I'm excited. And so I'm going to show my screen I put together when I heard that you were going to have me on here. I'm like, I got to put together some fancy stuff. So I did. And here we go. Let's see if I can figure this out. We will do this. Okay, there it is. Wow, that's colorful. That is colorful. All right, so let me just make sure this thing's working. I think it is. Okay. And I can see I'm on one of your mini pages, so I can see some of the comments. And so drop me a comment if you can see my screen okay. All right, I think you can. think you can, because I can't. So here we go. So tonight, I'm going to talk about how to get to the top of your comp plan. So this is something you would want your teammates to see. Let them hear it from someone other than you. And heck, I may even say some of the same things you say, but it's kind of like that favorite uncle deal, right? When the parents say, "Hey, you should do this," and they're like, "Whatever," and then the favorite uncle says it, and like, "That's brilliant." And so I may even say some of the things you say, and so let's help them out. And so how to get to the top of your comp plan, even if you've never been close and aren't sure what to do. Now, maybe you've been on a bunch of trainings that didn't give you step-by-step guidance, or you're thinking you've heard this all before and you're tired of being told strategies that only work for influencers. Well, that's not tonight. I'm going to share with you some stuff that's, some of it may be hard hitting. Some of it may be stuff that you don't want to hear, but you kind of need to hear. But the truth is, I'm going to share with you step by step how to totally change the results of your business. Buckle up, get ready for the goods. I would have, and I'm going to even tell you what to do with them, but I would have a pad and a pen. Make some notes. You know, if you comment, I mean, we want you to comment. We want you to engage. We want you to have some fun. But I would write down some notes as well, and that will absolutely serve you. Now, I will warn you, I am going to go quickly. We got a lot of ground to cover, and I'm not. I have a webinar here in about an hour, and so we're going to go through a lot of stuff fairly quickly. So make sure that you take notes. And so, real fast, I want to share two things. Who am I? Because I always know, especially when I'm coming on like a super influencer like Marina's, realm. I always know there's people out there that have never seen me, heard me, been gotten through any of my training, and so I'll share very quickly who I am, and then I'll cover what we're going to cover tonight. And so, before I was ever a coach or trainer, I was the number one income earner of a network marketing company, so I understand what it takes. And I joined that company while in foreclosure. I'd been through a divorce. I'd lost it all in the real estate market crash. I was in a foreclosure, and so I wasn't given some leg. I didn't have a big brand. I didn't move a big team. I wasn't the master distributor or anything like that. Like, I started from scratch. I started where maybe a lot of you are at right now. And so I understand what it takes. I've been there. Because of my wife and I's success in network marketing, when I decided to focus on coaching and training, our company grew very quickly. We got recognized on the Inc. 5000 as one of America's fastest growing companies. And that was super cool. And just know that, not only was I in foreclosure, but I'd failed in a lot of different things. Didn't finish high school on time, never got a college degree. And so there's, if you've ever had things not go so perfect in your life, there's hope, because I had a lot of things that weren't perfect in my life. I've ran some awesome events with some incredible speakers. I'm most excited about this year's event. We have Dr. Joe Dispenza, Stormy Wellington, Gloria Mayfield Banks, Justin Prince, Russell Brunson. I know some of you may know Justin on here, probably all of them, right? Been blessed to share the stage with a lot of different speakers, and just been super blessed to work with a lot of different clients. Marina being one of them, and she's just been amazing to see her growth and just her drive and her care to impact more people. And I've gotten some great testimonials over the years. We'll skip past that. So that's all the fancy stuff. But again, it came after many failures. I failed in real estate. I failed in advertising franchise, failed in 11 different network marketing companies. And, it wasn't that there was a problem with the companies, although some of them weren't that great, to be honest. But I didn't see success until I realized there were certain action step skills and ways of thinking that, if applied, I would reach all my goals. And that's exactly what's happened. And now we teach everyone that. In the last 4 years of us tracking and rank makers, we've helped network marketers just like you bring in over 300,000 new customers, 71,000 new reps, and achieve 14,000 rank advances. So we know what works. We stay on top of what's working right now, and we'll talk a little bit about that. So using these same strategies that I'm sharing with you today, Chris recruited 13 reps to get a total of 50 more and 6 customers. Angela, she doubled her product sales and personally recruited 5 reps. Elizabeth, her team has grown more in the last 3 months than the previous 2 years. And Erica went from 0 people in her team to rank advancing twice in under 90 days, recruited 12 people, and just rocked it out using these very similar strategies. And so tonight I'm going to cover what it really takes to hit the top of your comp plan, what's working right now for our members on social media, why you struggle with consistency, which that one might ding you a little bit, and then I'll share with you a sneak peek at our upcoming Top Earner Success School 2.0. That's something that a lot of leaders have been plugging their people into, and we'll talk a little bit about that as well. And I will take some questions too. And so tonight could be a big night if you let it. And let's rock it out. And so first of all, and I'll watch the comments here for a second at least. What do you think it takes? What does it take to reach the top of the comp plan? What do you think? If you had a word or two to define it, what would you say? What would you say? And thanks for sharing, Beth and Tracy. That's awesome. See a bunch of shares. But what do you think it takes? What do you think it takes to reach the top of the comp plan? Is there a word that jumps out at you? Or a couple words maybe? And so drop me a comment. I'll take a look at those. And as those start coming in, I know there's a slight delay. Commitment. Okay. So a lot of C words. Notice the first word I saw was commitment. And that's the word that I actually had on the next line here. So commitment, consistency, courage, confidence, and those are just some of the C words. And I've really, after a lot of years of teaching this, I've been training for this industry now for really 12 years. I'll consider it because I really started making courses and books and stuff like that in 2010. And so I've been at this for a little bit, and I've trained tens of thousands of reps, or hundreds of thousands actually. And so I've broken it down to two major areas and two secondary areas. They all happen to start with the letter P, at least the way that we define them. And so the primaries are pipeline and perspective. Pipeline and perspective. Those are the two most important indicators of how quickly and how big you're going to succeed in your company and if you're going to reach the top of the comp plan. And so let me define both of them and then kind of expand. So pipeline is very simple, actually. Pipeline is how many people you're talking to, following up with, setting appointments with, getting on presentations. If you happen to use samples, I don't know if some companies do, some companies don't. How many samples are you getting out? But it's your numbers, and this is what demystifies and really makes network marketing make sense, because this is the same in any performance-driven career. Pipeline. If you're a realtor, it's how many people are you talking to about selling their home or buying a home. It's how many people are you talking to about listing their home. How many people are you talking to and just letting them know you're a realtor and getting their information to follow up with them. And if you don't have a pipeline, you don't make money. It's not a mystery. It's not magical or mystical. It's if you don't have a pipeline, you don't make money, period. Now, so when I was in mortgages, a million years ago. And when I was in mortgages, I had a whiteboard and I had the last name of the family, Hernandez, Johnson, whatever. I had the last name of the family and where were they in the pipeline, right? Were they in underwriting? Or are we waiting on an appraisal? Are we waiting on docs? Are they, closing today? And so I had a pipeline. Anything performance-based has a pipeline. Now, the fact that some network marketers don't understand that is troubling, right? Because no one should say, I can't believe I'm not succeeding at network marketing. And you say, well, what's your pipeline like? And they're like, what do you mean? Right? It's like, how many people are you talking to? How many people are you following up with? How many appointments are you setting? How many videos are you getting out, et cetera? And so that's pipeline. Now, I used to think that you could out pipeline your perspective, but I've since been proven wrong. Perspective is where you spend the majority of your time in your mind. Where do you spend the majority of your time in your mind? And here's something you may want to write down. You will always verify what you believe to be true. So if you believe that making money is hard, you will constantly prove that to be true. You will constantly work harder than you have to make money. If you believe that some people that succeed are just lucky and you're not lucky, you will constantly prove that to be true. And so, several months ago, I wrote the rich get richer and the poor get poorer, because both are verifying what they believe to be true. And I know people in this, economy, and with, all the craziness that's been going on lately, that have made a lot of money. And I also know people that have lost a lot of money. And both are operating with different perspectives. And so perspective is that powerful sauce, that if you combine a good perspective with a solid pipeline, you're going to be a top earner. That's just a fact. Now, if you just have a really good pipeline and a terrible perspective, you're probably not going to be a top earner. It's actually very unlikely. There's not too many top earners. There's not too many people that become top earners that have a terrible perspective, that they're constantly thinking negatively. They're constantly thinking people are out to get them. They constantly think people are lying to them or going to betray them, or, are just terrible people, or are consumed with the news and constantly negative, right? Very rare, even with a good pipeline. Because I've met people that prospect 30, 40, 50 people a day that don't make much money. And I assure you, it's their perspective. They could double their pipeline and still not make a lot of money. But if they increase their perspective, which I believe we're one of the absolute specialists of improving your perspective, they could actually decrease their pipeline and make a lot more money. And so this is an interesting thing. So don't get me twisted here. You can't have a powerful perspective and no pipeline and make money. Most of us don't believe we're that magical, right? But if you have a great perspective, even with not the greatest pipeline, you can make money. Now, the secondaries, and although the first one probably sounds like it would fall under perspective, both of these actually fall under pipeline: posture and position. So posture is the belief in what you have, regardless of external acceptance or approval. So posture is, how do you hold yourself when you're talking to a negative prospect, right? So do you talk to your Aunt Sally and she says it's a scam and you're like, oh man, and you convince her and defend it and say, what's wrong with you? And you get upset, then you just don't have very good posture. And you would think, well, doesn't that fall under perspective? It actually doesn't, because this is correlated with external, right? Perspective is all internal, right? So posture is actually underneath, it falls underneath pipeline, as does position. So all of you have, and I know I got my healers on here. Hey, so healers, if you go to the playground and your kids are out there playing, and stranger comes up to you and says, hey, is that your daughter right there? And you say, oh yes, that's my sweetie. And they say, oh, she's ugly. Now, do you try to convince them? Do you try to defend and say, no, she has really cute ears and a great personality? Do you defend her? Do you try to convince them and say, no, look at these pictures. She's not dolled up right now, but here's her with makeup on. No. You say, get the hell out of here before I punch you in the face. Or maybe you just, depending on if you're, from Jersey or New York, maybe you do punch him in the face. I don't know, right? But what you aren't is not postured. Okay. Does anyone get that analogy? Does that make sense? Because your posture, every person on here is postured about some things in their life. I want you to be postured about the industry. I want you to be postured about your product. I want you to be postured about your company. Okay. And so all of you know what posture looks like, because none of you would try to defend or convince if someone's called your kid ugly, right? None of you, not one person. Okay. So you're postured around some things. I want you to be postured around this. So when someone would say to me, oh, it's one of those things, I'd say, yeah, it's not fit for everyone. Do you know anyone that does want to make some extra money? I wouldn't skip a beat. I wouldn't try to say, what do you mean by that? I wouldn't get all riled up and upset. I'd just be like, cool. Hey, anyone that does want to make some money? Now, position, again, also falls under pipeline, but position is understanding where the prospect is. Where are they? If you're frustrated and you're talking to a lot of people, but none of them are closing, it's very, very likely that you don't understand position. You need to understand position. So you should not go to someone and say, hey, you should join my team, or, hey, buy my product, if you don't know if they're open, if you don't know if they have a desire, if you don't know that they're looking for what it is that you provide. They're out of position, out of position. So if and this is where, I bring up, the term spam, right? So what's spam? Spam is, and this, you've probably never heard this unless you've heard me say it. Spam is assuming the position of your prospect without any evidence. Assuming spam is assuming the position of your prospect without any evidence. So if someone's coming to you and saying, hey, you should buy my apple pies, they're only $2, but they never asked you if you like pie or if you like apple pie or if you were interested in their apple pie, right? If they don't ask you any of those things, then they're pitching out of position, which leads to frustration, right? Frustration for you and frustration for the prospect. And so this is it's one of the most powerful things that you're going to hear around prospecting. In the absence of progress, fall back on position. So what the heck does that mean, right? That's exactly why I recruited hundreds of people that didn't like my company video. See, some of you think that they have to like the company video for you to recruit them. That's not true. If someone watches the company video, I'm 90% of the way there. I'm 90% of the way there because they must be looking for something. And if someone's looking for something, we can help fulfill it. We can help them out. And so if I talk to someone, and you want me to share with you what I actually said? So if I talk to someone and I say, hey, did you get a chance to watch the video? And they say, yeah, and it really sucked. I hated that video. It was just terrible. I would ask them, man, wow, okay. What were you hoping to see? See, some of you, if they neglect or if they reject, I should say, if they reject your company video, you're like, oh man, this sucks. I got to go find more people. Me, I'm like, ooh, they watched the video. Oh man, this should be a done deal. And so I would ask them, well, oh, you didn't like the video. Okay. What were you hoping to see? And I never had a crazy answer. I never had someone say, I was hoping I could pour it in the backyard and Bitcoin would spew out like a fountain. Right? I just never had that. I was hoping I could pour it on my bald head and hair would just grow instantly. Never, not one time. I heard things like, well, I wish I could do it part-time. I wish I could do it at night. I wish I could do it as a single person, a married person. I heard all kinds of kind of weird translations of the video, but not one thing that we couldn't actually help with. And so if you're frustrated, confused, or getting low conversion numbers, you're violating at least two of these categories. I guarantee you. And so helpful so far? Is this helpful? Let me know. All right. So what's working right now? Now, especially being on here with the Marina Simone, this isn't going to blow you away. All right. The what isn't going to blow you away. It's not going to shock you. It's not like, yeah, holograms are all the rage, right? You're not going to hear this, space age polymer plastic, like what? I never heard of that. It's not necessarily the what that's so important. It's more the how. Okay. So what's working right now? You already know. I mean, if you're here with Marina, she's the queen of marketing. Come on. You already know. You know that Reels and TikTok are absolutely crushing it. You may know that YouTube Shorts are now crushing it. Now, when YouTube Shorts first came out, it wasn't doing that great. Now they're rocking and rolling, and you should definitely be doing YouTube Shorts. And oh, by the way, you just use the same video you use for your Reels and TikTok. Okay. And so there is no question. This isn't a shock. Right? No one's surprised by this, but Reels, TikTok, and now YouTube Shorts are the top marketing strategies, no doubt. They're the top of the marketing food chain. If you want to build a business in 2022, you should be doing those things. Why wouldn't you? It has never been easier or cheaper to reach people that don't know you. Never been easier or cheaper, right? In the past, for you to reach strangers, you would need to pay some money, at least in your marketing, right? You're going to have to drop some ad money. But now, we have students that have Reels with over 15 million views. That's more than watched the last Olympics. That's crazy. And they spent zero. I think the Olympics spent slightly more than zero. And so there's no surprise here. Reels, TikTok, now YouTube Shorts, top marketing strategies. Original content has gotten easier and easier. We teach you how to batch content and easily create original content. And ILT is easier than ever. And so for the last 10, 11 years, we've been teaching a process called ILT, Invest, Learn, Teach. Now, that's why I suggested that you get your notebook and make some notes, because so ILT stands for Invest, Learn, Teach. Right now, you're doing the I and the L, especially if you're taking notes. Investing your time and learning. Okay. Now, will you teach? Will you implement the last piece of this, which is teach? And the super easy way is to just look at your notes. Look at your notes. And any chunk of note, right? Can you see this? I'll make sure you can see it. So any chunk of notes, and these are some of my notes on neuroscience. I've been studying a lot of brain stuff. And so any chunk of notes becomes a reel. It's literally the simplest thing on the planet. Like reel 1, reel 2, reel 3, reel 4. So not that long ago, I spoke at Grant Cardone's mastermind, and I also was there as a student. I paid attention and took notes, and I probably walked away with 25, 30 reels. I just went through. So after the day was finished, I went back to my hotel room, went out on the balcony, looked at my notes, and shot a reel for every batch, every little segment of note. Isn't that simple? So simple, so easy, so easy. Like, stop overthinking it. And yes, you can do the trends if you want. You can do the ta 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 ta, the ooh, right? You can do right. You can do whatever dance and trends. You can do whatever lip sync stuff. You can do all that stuff. But original content that is helpful to others is really simple to do, and you should be doing. Okay. Now, this is the one that might hit you. It might hit you a little hard. A little hard. If you struggle with consistency and you're on here tonight, it's not that you're lazy. Now, are there lazy people? Yes, there are definitely lazy people. But lazy people would not be watching this. Lazy people would not be around Marina Simone, right? Lazy people would not be trying to grow a network marketing business or trying to grow as an entrepreneur. They just wouldn't be on here. But if you struggle with consistency, it's not that you're lazy. It's not. It's that you've drawn the wrong conclusion to success. And I kind of nicely on here say typically based on observations you made as a kid, but the reality is it's almost certainly based on observations you made as a kid. And so I've coached hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of people around this kind of thing. And so let me give you some examples. If you had parents who were really successful and then they lost it all, and you were ridiculed, or they were ridiculed, and you got to see that they were shamed, you had a fall from grace, then it's extremely likely that you created a paradigm that said, if you have a lot of money or you make a lot of create a lot of success, you're just going to lose it, and it's really going to hurt. So you actually draw harm. You're the back of your head, not the subconscious. The subconscious is saying, if I succeed succeed big time, it's actually going to hurt me. And so your paradigm will have you show up in certain ways to prevent that from happening. So what you see as procrastination, perfectionism, overwhelm, frustration, overthinking, those are all camouflage blankets. Those are all camouflages to prevent you from discovering the real truth, which is you've drawn the conclusion that success and money will hurt you, will make you something you don't want to be. If you had parents that were successful or had a lot of money and they ignored you, it's extremely likely you created a paradigm that said, well, if I become successful and wealthy, then I'm going to ignore my kids, and I never want them to feel like I felt, so I'm just not going to be consistent. Now, that's not a conscious statement. No one is going to say that. No one's going to say, the reason I'm not consistent is because my parents and I decided I didn't want to be that. No, that is not a conscious statement. That's in your subconscious programming, and you're not even driving your life. You're sitting in the passenger seat, and the paradigm is just whipping around corners. It's going down the hill. It's going up the hill. And you're just like, wee, what are we doing today? Right? Because you want to be consistent, but you can't figure out why you're not. You'll go to the event, get all fired up and be like, this is my time, man. And then you'll get back, and that paradigm's like, I don't want to see you hurt. And you're just going to get hurt if you have success. How many can resonate with that? How many can relate with that? I told you, this is hard-hitting stuff. Here's one more for you. One more, and then we'll move on from this. One more for you. So if you struggle with recognition, right? If you're like, I don't want to be recognized. I don't need that. I don't need recognition. You feel weird about that. You had siblings. Every person I've ever coached that struggled with recognition had siblings, and they were typically the good sibling. And what they saw as a kid is they saw their parents go to their siblings and say, why can't you be more like your sister? Why can't you be more like her? She gets good grades. How come you can't? And so you witnessed this. And so you created a paradigm that said, anytime I get recognized, someone else gets hurt. It takes away from someone else. And so you could forgive your parents all you want, right? You could, have a great relationship with your sibling, but that paradigm is just sitting in the background. And what happens with success? Well, when you succeed, you get recognized. So if you draw recognition with success, then you'll sabotage success, right? Now, here's the good news. Now, I've figured a lot of, I think all, but do we ever really know? I figured out a lot of my paradigms. I figured out that as a very little kid in a very abusive home, I drew the conclusion that I wasn't a priority. So I've projected that on every relationship I've ever had in my entire life until I became aware of it. Okay. I had major social anxiety. I could speak on stage, no problem, but you get me off that stage, I would have social anxiety. If you wanted to talk something other than business, I would get weird. I remember, there were actually events where I hyperventilated and I didn't know why. Well, I actually figured that out. I figured out that it was because of a guidance counselor betraying me in the 3rd grade. That's what created a trust issue that I had most of my life. The good news is, even though I've figured a lot of that stuff out for me, and I've helped a lot of clients with that too, you don't have to figure that out, because a belief is a repeated thought. And one of my mentors, Dr. Joe Dispenza, he shares that your personality creates your personal reality. Your personality is made up of how you think, act, and feel, and you can change those with awareness. And so we teach that. But one of the absolute keys, here's the big one for you. If you struggle with consistency, tactics aren't going to help. You can learn as many hashtag strategies as you want. You can learn as many scripts as you want. You can learn as many video marketing secrets that you want. But if you struggle with consistency because you've drawn the wrong conclusions to success, then acquiring more knowledge actually isn't going to help. What you need is you need strategic accountability. Strategic accountability will force you to face the demon, will force you to face the program, will force you to be defiant. So in the face of these paradigms that you may or may not be aware of how they happened, but you will be able to locate them through pattern recognition, through awareness, through strategic accountability, you face the demon, you face the dragon, and you tame the animal. And that's the key. It is not more tactics shoved down your throat. It's taming the animal by being forced to confront the animal. For you to overcome yourself, you got to know yourself. And so strategic accountability helps you to do just that. So helpful so far? I know we got real deep on that last one. Ooh, some of you need a face cloth, right? And so I hope it's been helpful so far. Any questions, hold on to them. I promise we'll get to them. And so I imagine you're kind of maybe torn between two things. Maybe you're excited to start, thinking more along the lines of what I've been talking about here today, or maybe you're feeling a little bit overwhelmed because some of it is deep, some of it is just tactic, and some of it's like deep, kind of hard stuff. And so, how would you like it if my team and I helped you implement all of this and much more to grow your business faster and actually reach the top of your comp plan? Would you like that idea? Would that be cool? And so if that sounds good to you, let me know. Let Marina know. Tag her. Let her know. And so before we get to questions, would it be okay to share how we're going to be helping people starting this month? Actually, next week, right? Next week, we start this very, very cool process to help you get to the top of your comp plan. This is the first of its kind 6-week program designed to help you reach the top of your comp plan while avoiding the common pitfalls. Some of them I talked about tonight. Some of them we just don't have time to cover. But it is called Top Earner Success School 2.0. Now, if you've followed me for any length of time, you may have heard of Top Earner Success School because it's been one of our most successful programs since like 2014. However, this is the very founding class of Top Earner Success School 2.0. And so Top Earner Success School 2.0 is it's a 6-week program, not a 3-month program. I found that most people just can't stay consistent for 90 days, but they greatly increase their chances when we shrink it down to 6 weeks. And so it's 6 weeks, hard hitting. We've taken all of the most powerful concepts and strategies and tactics and perspectives from Top Earner Success School and just shrunk it, made it easier to consume, made it easier to be a part of. And so you get 6 powerful weekly sessions. We talk about accountability, visioning, sales, marketing in each webinar. You get Q&A sessions with myself. You're actually getting, I think we share like over 9 hours with me. And I want to help you out. And so we're going to kick it off this month. These will be live, but we have teams in Australia, Singapore, Malaysia, Hawaii, London. We have teams all over the world that have very different time zones. And so what we did is one of the bonuses for tonight is that you can also get the recordings. And each session will have a game along with a contest you get to play to help you grow. And so this is for you if you want to finish big in 2022. If you see the value in spending 9+ hours with me and showing you step-by-step how to become a top earner, if you have a big vision, you're sick of not achieving it, and you're finally ready to treat your business like a business. And also here's the other reality. I can't make you a top earner in less than an hour, but I can help you reach your dreams in the next 45 days. If you're coachable and you show up, you will see a transformation in yourself and in your business. Now, if you're just not ready to play hard, win big, and you're not that serious, this isn't for you. Now, no hate. No, I'm not a hustle shamer, right? I'm not going to shame you if it's not your time. Know that I'm still rooting for you. Maybe next time. But if this does require you to want to play at a bigger level, you don't have to know how yet because we'll teach you that. But you have to want to play at a bigger level, and that's the desire that you need. Now, Marina knows this. I practice what I preach. Okay. I think I practice what I preach very, very well. And so 2012, I just wrote this the other day. I'm like, oh my God, that's a long time. 2012 was the last year I invested less than 100 grand in my education. So that means the last 10 years, I've invested between $100,000 and $320,000 every year. Now, one of those was I gave Grant Cardone 100 grand for 6 hours of his time. In hour one, he helped me with totally look at something different that helped me add an additional $1 million a year every year since. And so now the cool thing is you're going to get my very best for a really, really affordable price. Don't be scared by these numbers because that's not what we're talking about here today, but that's just what I've invested in myself. I believe it is your time. And so you remember these guys, I would love to have you as one of these people that I shout out and highlight, and I would love to see you crushing it. And so Top Earner Success School 2.0, here's exactly what you get. Here's the 6 sessions. The first one, crafting a compelling vision for success. And so Dr. Reverend Michael Beckwith, which I shared the stage with a couple times, amazing individual, he says, pain pushes you until a vision pulls you. This is not, it's not the end all be all to be consistent, but it absolutely helps, is you having a compelling vision for success. I teach you how to craft one for it yourself in a very powerful way that will really, really help you, and exactly how to do it, exactly when to do it. And this is something I really believe if we just ended right there, if that's all we did, it would be worth the investment. I really believe that. Number 2, unlimited prospects with no influence or warm market. In fact, we interviewed 2 number 1 recruiters in their company that do not have big influence, and they're the number 1 recruiters. 2 different companies, number 1 recruiters in both companies. Number 3, warm market secrets that actually work. And so warm market, for those that may not know, is friends and family, people that know you, you know them. And we share with you, even if they don't support you or even like you, I share with you a different series of scripts based on your relationship with your warm market and how that can help you. Number 4, I share a bunch of closing scripts, things that have helped me be one of the top recruiters in the company that I was the number one earner of. This is so powerful. If you get better at closing, then everything makes you more money. You can actually talk to fewer people, make more money. Number 5, attraction marketing, which I have to imagine if you're here with Marina, you've learned a lot of that from her already. We want to teach you what we have. And number 6, leading and managing your team for success. So there's no frustration or stress, just you making it rain and you inspiring your team. And so the sessions, we start on August 23rd. And again, if you can't be on live, we're actually, one of our bonuses is to give you the recordings, 6 sessions and 2 months of Q&A coaching. That's a retail value of $2,000. We have 6 live strategic implementation Q&As with myself, where I actually look at your scripts. I actually look at your profile. I go over what it is that you're doing. And, to hire me hourly is not, the cheapest nowadays, but that's a retail value of $4,500. You get a private group, all your questions answered. I have several of my teammates that are helping us in there. I'm in there as well. And so everything I've talked about so far is almost $7,000 in bonuses. But we have a few more. Before we get to questions. So bonus number 1, want to give you lifetime access to the recordings just in case you can't make it or you want to rewatch it. Number 2, plotting your comeback. I realize, especially in this weird time that we're in, maybe COVID knocked you out of the game. Maybe, you got depressed from all the news and media and politicians and whatever. So we want to help you with your comeback. And number 3, building duplication and team culture. And so now you're talking over $7,000 worth of bonuses, but that's not what the price is going to be today. You're not even going to pay half that. Now, when we first launched, it was $697, but students loved it because they got so many good results. However, you have a little bit better of an investment to make tonight. And so you can actually get everything I talked about here today, not for $7,000, for $97. And so for less than a hundo, you can run with us for 6 weeks, Q&A sessions, all the different bonuses, live trainings. These are not recordings I did 10 years ago and you're just going to watch them, right? Like, these are live. We're doing them live starting August 23rd. And so I see it as you have 2 choices. Number 1, join us in Test 2.0, allow us to be your guide for 6 weeks, shortcut your way through all the hurdles and struggles so that you can enjoy the success you desire most. Or option 2, you can try to take, some of what I talked about here today and try to do it on your own. And who knows, you could get lucky, no doubt. And, you will have some challenges. But to me, the real question is, do you feel you can get farther with me or by staying on your own, staying in your own patterns, in your own paradigms, running your own programs? Which one do you think will get you farther? I think we can help you. I really, really do. And we do have a money back guarantee. You can actually grab your seat and go through the first 2 sessions. And if you don't think those 2 sessions are worth your entire investment, just get your money back. Literally, we will literally give you your money back. You go through 2 sessions. You're like, nah, those sucked. Those aren't for me. We'll give you your money back. That's how confident we are in this content. Like, I go deep, I go hardcore. I'm going to share with you some things that might challenge you, but that's exactly what you need if you want to play bigger, if you want to get to the top. And so again, $97, that's it. And I got one more bonus for you. So we have the mantra crafting workshop, and that's where I help people craft mantras. And it's not as, let me give you one example. This is a very common one. So some people have heard the mantra of, I'm so happy and grateful now that. Well, if you could say, I'm so happy and grateful now that I'm a millionaire. You could say that 10,000 times a day, every day, day in, day out. And because you don't believe it, in neuroscience, it will never get out of what's called your neocortex. So you have 3 brains. You have your neocortex, you have your limbic brain, and you have your cerebellum, okay? And so for something to impact you, for something to alter your actual thoughts, emotions, etc., it has to pass from the neocortex to the limbic brain. So the neocortex is the thinking brain. That's where all thoughts happen, right? That's where your neural networks are firing. And when you have a collection of thoughts that you can at least buy into, even just a little bit, it connects with the limbic brain, which is your emotional brain, your chemical brain, creates neuropeptides, send those down the spine to hit the adrenal glands to create emotions. And those emotions are what feed back to the brain, and then you start creating thoughts based on that emotion now. So it's kind of like a loop, okay? when you say, I'm so happy and grateful now that I'm a millionaire, and you don't believe it, it never gives you any kind of power. So there are certain ways to craft mantras. Sometimes it's tricking your brain. And I've done so much studying on that kind of thing. And I want to help you with that. But we already of one of them. I'm doing another one of them, and you will get that recording as well. And so if you would like, enroll in Top Earner Success School. We'll bring Marina back on. But just ask yourself, would it be worth it to have me in your corner for 6 weeks? And if you are moving forward, we're super excited for you. And Marina, I think you may have, some other things that you would like to say, perhaps, maybe.
Yeah. So can you hear me okay?
I can hear you. I don't see you. Actually, I can stop the share.
Can you see me now?
Now I can see you.
Oh, gotta see this beautiful makeup face. So check this out, you guys. So when you purchase from my link, which is right there, momsandheels.com top earner, I put it in the comments. I'll put it above at the top here. I'm going to blast it out and all the things. When you purchase from my link, you're going to get a top earner success school bundle from me.
Nice.
So what does that mean? In this bundle, you're going to get literally, I think, 12 different trainings on how I grew my team to over 100,000 customers and distributors, how I run free challenges, and all kinds of cool stuff that's in there. And some of them are never before seen because they are trainings I did for my team, my personal team. So all you have to do when you purchase is literally DM me a screenshot of your receipt or email it to support@momsandheels.com. I'm going to put all of that at the top, and that automatically we will have your information so we can give you that access completely free. So you get all those bonuses from Ray, which, by the way, you guys, let me just explain. No brainer. Okay. The amount of money I will continue
No.
to on Ray. But when I saw Top Earner Success School, I was expecting like 2, 3, 4 grand. I saw $97, and I'm like, anybody that doesn't do this is just stupid right now. Because if you got value from this, just imagine what mind-blowing nuggets you're gonna have inside this, and all the other people that are gonna have those aha moments. That's my favorite part, when there's a Facebook group involved and all the things. So you definitely want to grab that, and you get mine as well. If you tag a team member, that's actually going to give you entries into winning more swag from me, all the things, all the cool things. Oh, thank you, Erin. I love you. Here, screenshot that, because I know you're all going to go right now and you're going to use my link and you're going to go buy. And then you're going to share my link with your team members, because what's your business going to look like this time next year when you have Ray pushing your people, not you, but my whole team already knows about this, FYI. Like, I personally invited my whole team.
Think about this. Think about the timing of this. We're going to end right close to Black Friday. So imagine having an army of people just foaming at the mouth, super excited, fired up, and then you drop Black Friday on them. You're gonna. I know your company very well, and so I know people in any company that do a Black Friday thing. You're gonna blow up.
Well, and you're going to push the momentum into next year, right?
Yep.
And Black Friday alone, just from the amount of people that are spending, because Black Friday is like our jam. And so when you see now with YouTube Shorts and with Reels and with TikTok,
Yep.
it's great if you get a bazillion views, you guys. But if you don't know how to have conversations with these people, you don't know how to close them. And I love the posture, but when you're talking about perspective and like, I don't even know if I've heard you say some of these things. I'm like, I can't wait to take it and be in there. It's going to be it's going to be so awesome. So you guys definitely get in there. Erin just dropped the link again. I'm going to put it at the top of this. Erin will just drop link if you're like, oh, I want you to send me the personal link. Sure, no problem. I'll send it to you. We have bots that do that. We got your back. So, Ray, thank you so much. And I just can't wait to see like the stories that come out of this. That's always like exciting. I know for you as well, but like seeing like the new 6-figure earners, seeing the new comma check, seeing the, oh my gosh, like Christmas wasn't a struggle for me, just from minor tweaks, like in the way that they're already doing their business. I'm just really excited about that. Thank you for being here. I know it's nighttime, you're away from your kids, so we appreciate you so much.
Of course. Thank you for having me. And hey, whether you invest in yourself or not, whether you move forward with it, I hope you got value from this. I'm rooting for you regardless. And just Love you, Marina. You're amazing. You're impacting so many people. Thanks for having me.
Thank you. All right, healers. We will see you tomorrow.